Hello, my lovely audience. Now, I said I was probably going to do one next week, but I could not stop thinking and thinking and thinking about this what if, and I'm probably going to make it short, because it is going to be the camp. So, yeah. I could not stop thinking about this what if, and I wanted to get to this part really quickly and just get done with it because I just can't stop thinking about how I was gonna do it and everything. And I get to it. All right. So for the I'm just gonna answer a real quick comment that I saw on the other video on the other part, and that is that the credit would go to Deku because he was what was it? Because he used his quirk? No, last time I checked, I believe it was because it was not because he used his quirk, but because he went ahead and did something that a vigilante would do, and not what a hero would do. He doesn't have a hero's license, so I think that was the reason why. Either way, let's get to the what if, because that's what matters here. And I'm gonna say that people are kind of impressed because here's the thing: Deku, the whole internship, all he did was train. Like that was it. He would train against Todoroki and always win. Now, time for the camp. Now as for what is going to happen, it's very simple. At the camp, Deku is going to. Well, when he gets there, he's going to pretty much going to be in the same boat as everyone else, but he has to get to the get there by sundown and all that. And honestly, this is easy for him. This is really going to be easy for him. And what he does is he sneaks by every tree. He moves by every tree and sneaks past them all. And everyone kind of wonders where he disappears to. But when he gets up and grabs his stuff, which is just a duffel bag of clothes, and that's it, and probably a few batarangs and gadgets that he would carry around with him, because just in case. And what would end up happening is this. Deku would end up where the wild pussycats are, and immediately I would say that they are surprised that someone was able to get there so quickly. And when everyone else arrives, they kind of wonder how Deku got there first. And he would quickly explain he just snuck past them all. And I think the wild pussycats, however you go with their names, I'm just calling them pussycats, or the wild pussycats just for short, because I'm not going to go with that amount of wilds. I'm wild card. Come on. I'm not gonna go with all that wild. So basically, what's gonna happen is Deku's gonna be doing the cooking, and yeah, he's just gonna relax while he's there, and the wild pussycats are gonna be surprised that he snuck past them all. Like they're still trying to believe that, and it's hard. Now for what's going to happen is this. When Deku meets Koda, which I would say be pretty early on, he would pretty much be, I think he would pretty quickly figure out that his, what happened from, like, eavesdropping and stuff like that. And I would say that when he finds out that his parents were killed by a villain, he would sympathize with this, and he would go up to Koda and say, "You're not alone," and he would basically sit down with the kid, who would pretty much be just, how do I put it? He would just be ignoring him at first when he's talking, and he would say that his mother was killed when he was very young by a group of villains that never were caught, and he swore to become a hero. And I would say Koda would then ask him, "What's your quirk?" And immediately Deku would say, he's quirkless. And that would make Koda think for a second that someone quirkless who he hears about is to be surprising, is what the teachers say about him. They would say that he's a surprising person, like someone that really brings new things to the table every time. And I'm going to say that he kind of looks up to Deku. And the reason for that is because he basically sees him as someone who wants to become a hero even though they have no quirk. And he looks down upon heroes, and I would say that they both kind of like go with, yeah, the heroes are going to be, just sometimes useless, but there's always going to be those certain heroes out there that do work hard for what they do. They work hard and they do what they can to help people, and you can't ignore that. And he would actually then bring up why his parents would want to become heroes and all the good they did. You think they're the only ones that do it? All Might's the reason why All Might's number one hero is because he does something. And that would really hit Koda. He would really get a wake-up call when talking to Deku about everything. And when I would say that the villains attack, when Deku goes looking for Koda, he finds Koda and he finds Muscular. Now, here's the problem. Muscular has a quirk that's very strong and Deku has nothing. So what he does is he pretty much he tells Koda to stay quiet, and he gets to him really quickly and tells him to stay quiet and hide and stay right here. He'll be right back. And what ends up happening is Deku goes out to where Muscular is, who is really big and he hasn't activated his quirk yet. And what he does is he goes up behind him and starts, he pretty much does a silent takedown, grabs him by the neck. And Muscular would immediately activate his quirk, trying to prevent him from strangling him, but wouldn't be able to do much because the dude, I would say that Deku's going to be using because I would say he brought his, the utility belt along with him. And he would basically be strangling him with the grappling hook. And I would say that when he uses his quirk and gets Deku off him, that's not where it ends. Deku uses the grappling hook to basically tie him up and basically pull on certain areas that when he throws a punch are going to redirect it into, hurting himself. And he uses pressure points, he uses all these things and goes for more weaknesses that are based around the human body. And this guy has no form, he has no technique. And Koda is scared because he sees someone who he looks up to as a brother right now, fighting something that killed his parents. And he wants to help, but he was told to stay put because he doesn't want him to get in the way. And Koda is scared. He's scared that he might lose someone that's close to him again. So what he does is he runs out and shoots water into the face of the villain, which then I would say blurs his eyes up and gives Deku the chance to beat down on him. And I would say that he gets, he loses consciousness and Muscular drops. And immediately Deku ties him up around a rock and uses, I would say that he uses some zip ties he just uses the cable and then cuts it with a batarang to completely secure him and tighten it. And prevents him from actually being able to move by just tying him up, really. And then carries him back to the Wild Pussycats, where he then goes to, look for the others. And I would say that he would encounter the gas mask guy along the way and would figure out how to fight him. Now, what would end up happening is he would be able to have a gas mask that's pretty high quality.
You said you wanted to eat in here.
Yes, I'm doing a video too, by the way.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
They're nice and hot.
Gotcha.
I will have to vacuum after you eat.
Okay, I got you. No, I got you.
Okay.
Just gonna get back to my video. Okay. Anyways, those are burgers. Burger night. So where was I? Deku pretty much would take out the gas, mustard gas guy, and how he would do that is he would get closer and closer, and when he pulls out a gun saying that When someone uses a gas mask, his quirk's not that effective. He pulls out the gun, and when right before he could fire, when the hammer's about to hit the chamber, or well, the bullet, he dodges immediately and throws a batarang right into the barrel of the gun, making it explode into his hand. And yeah, completely just does him pretty dirty. And what ends up happening next is simple. Deku would go after the other villains, but then get taken down by, I would say, Dabi and Toga, who would basically catch him off guard, which is going to be hard because I would say that Dabi would be fighting him frontal, and I would say that a Nomu comes up and knocks him out. And this is the thing. They weren't going for Bakugo or Todoroki. No, they were going for him. They were aiming for him. They want to torture him enough to make him join their side, to just do something to kind of beat him into submission. They want him to be turned into a villain. Or worse. And what happens is, when Deku gets captured, he's going to be tortured the whole time. And he's getting beaten badly. He's stripped of his clothing, only wearing pants, and that's it. He has no shoes. He's been pushed into cold water every single second. But Deku, he's keeping up an act, making it look like he's about to break, but he's not. He's gone through something way worse than this before, and he's ready. He's ready to show them true fear. And what ends up happening is simple. Deku, well, I would say the time when, time when All Might would be, they found him or whatever, around that time, like a few hours before, Deku would have escaped. And he would have been lurking around the building and moving through it, through the ventilation and just through the crevices that are all over, using his instincts and senses and relying on only that. And I would say that they took his utility belt to see what kind of gadgets it had installed, and I would say that he finds it, and he grabs it and puts it around his waist. Or better yet, I would say that you wouldn't really think much of it. They would just see it as something that holds nothing of... Well, actually, no. Yeah, they would take it. But then he would get it back, and yeah. So what ends up happening is, seeing how he has no grappling hook, he climbs around the building. And I would say that when Dabi and everybody's looking for Deku, he's looking at the Nomu factory that they have. And what does he do? What does Deku do? He sabotages it. He gathers information. He looks around, beaten and swollen, ribs cracked, skulls cracked. Well, everything's really bad. He's banged up bad. He's got a few, I would say he's got a few broken ribs. His arms were dislocated. How he got out, he was handcuffed to a chair. They really wouldn't think much, like, oh, he wouldn't be able to get out of that. He's quirkless. They underestimate him. So what he ends up doing is he dislocated his thumb and got out like that. What ends up happening next is simple. When All Might attacks, when the heroes come and they attack, they aren't expecting this because they were all focusing on finding Deku. They weren't ready for this. And I would say that when the heroes attack, he starts taking out one by one each and every one of them, except Kirigiri and Shigaraki, because he couldn't find them. And I'm going to say what ends up happening next is this. By the time that Deku gathers all the information, he gets a USB drive with all the information about Nomus and everything that they got right now, and he's basically getting out of the facility when All For One finds him. And he wonders where he's going. And he activates his quirks, about to beat down on, when all of a sudden you hear a loud explosion outside, and he realizes that, oh crap, you're less important right now. You're already broken and beaten. Flicking you would be all I needed to do. But that'll have to wait. And I would say that he just pushes Deku into the console, and well, what ends up happening is Deku takes a batarang and throws it hitting All For One in the arm, piercing into his muscle, and he basically would scream in agony because it hit him hit him right on the nerve. And I would say that he pulls it out, and when he's about to go beat down on Deku, he disappeared, gone. And immediately, what ends up happening is this: Deku would have made it out. He's walking around, and he gets out where a bunch of heroes see him, and they go to grab him and get him out of there. And when they get him out of there, they realize something. They realize something very important. He was beaten badly, and yet he's able to walk. Now I would say that Deku's family would be worried, of course. Everyone in UA would be worried. They'd be wondering how he's doing and everything. And I would say after the whole fight with All Might, because it would go down pretty much the same, just All Might would have a better fight because All For One was injured by Deku, so he would have a much better chance at beating him. Now, as for what's going to happen. What's going to happen next is this. Deku is going to be in the hospital and immediately be treated, and he would get up and he would be treated by a recovery girl for herself, and yeah, really, he was really banged up. And when he goes to his family, when they set up this dorm system, Aizawa and All Might, they go to his family, and they see the craziness that his family is, and it's like 10 people living in one house. And they see how it's like a jungle gym in there, how it's pretty much just like when you walk in, it's already crazy. And they realize that two guys who call Deku their brother has fire breath and cold breath. Then they immediately realize that this is how it is. They probably taught him how to fight. They taught him how to do things. And I would say that they openly admitted to it. And they admit that they've been helping him learn how to fight. Like, I would say Aizawa would bring it up too. He would be like, so I take it that he's learned everything from you, from this family. How to fight, how to do everything. And they say this: well, he wanted to become a hero, he has no quirk, and when we got him, he was just a kid with a dumb idea. But over time, he became something more, and we believe that we did a good job raising him. Even if he turned out to be pretty cold and, well, pretty terrifying to some. But yeah, when they pretty much just agree that they want him to succeed, they want him to become a hero. As long as he's got that goal in mind, they will continue letting him become a hero. And they kind of bring up old stories about how they locked him in a coffin and threw him underwater, and how he's great at escaping, and how they're back to their circus days, and all this stuff about how they trained him and taught him how to do certain things. And it's insane. The two of them are shocked that he lived in such a crazy family doing such crazy things. And yeah. Now what ends up happening is this. When the dorm set up, you know that whole part when they were showing each other their rooms? Well, Deku's room is an entire workout area. And it is basically also, well, him making having his own workbench to make his own hero equipment. So yeah, he is making his own hero equipment, and yeah, it looks like a hell of a workout room. There's no bed. There's just a hammock. There's just no bed. It's just workout. It's just a workout room, really. And they just see Deku working out, and just see him doing pull-ups. But he's got about 120 pounds on his legs, weighing him down as he does it with one arm. And I would say that's where they kind of just go like, oh, okay, not terrifying at all. Anyways, I'm gonna cut it off here because this is, I'm really hungry and I'm looking at those burgers over and over and I'm like, tasty. I really want those burgers. Um, anyways, have a good day and a good night. I know it was short, but I really wanted to get this out of the way because, yeah, why not? Anyways, have a good day and a good night. Peace out.